Good morning. I'm Deborah Burrell, a member of UUMAN, and on behalf of Reverend Dave Dunn, Director of Religious Exploration Lexi Tangley, Music Director Alex Peach, my fellow worship associates, and the dedicated technical team that's making today's live stream possible, I welcome you to the Unitarian Universalist Metro Atlanta North Congregation, which we lovingly call UUMAN. We are a liberal faith community with the mission to nurture our spirit, strive for justice, and transform the world. No matter who you are, whom you love, where you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. If you're visiting with us for the first time and feel comfortable doing so, please introduce yourself so that we can worship together as friends. Are there any first-time visitors on my left? On my right? No first-time visitors today? Okay. We have a few announcements today. We do not have a fidget corner, but we are offering a play group in Discovery Hall, the building behind me, this morning for children who are not comfortable sitting through the service. And at 11:15 in Discovery Hall, we'll have religious exploration, followed by a potluck at noon. We have several second-hour opportunities at 11:15, and they are listed in your order of worship. I have a couple of additional announcements. The lunch ministry is starting up again today. It will be at 11:30 at Houck's Grill. And for more information, please see Ashok Nagrani. The Cancer Support Group will meet online at noon. Contact Kim Palmer for details. And we had training yesterday for emergency situations, so I wanted to just point out the exits on this floor. There's one here, there's the door you came in, and if necessary, the doors behind me.
Good morning. There are a few seats up front if you want there, and I know everyone will see who came late for those who want to come forward. This morning's call to worship is by Kimberly Ann Tomczak Carlson, who writes, "It's not by chance that you arrived here today. You've been looking for something larger than yourself. Inside of you, there's a yearning, a calling, a hope for more, a desire for a place of belonging and caring. Through your struggles, someone nurtured you into being, instilling a belief in a shared purpose, a common yet precious resource that belongs to all of us when we share. And so you began seeking a beloved community, a people that does not put fences around love, a community that holds its arms open to the possibilities of love, a heart home to nourish your soul and share your gifts. Welcome home." And now let us light our chalice together.
Please join me in reading together these words by Eric Walker Wickstrom, printed in your order of worship. "Here, today, in this place, and with these people, may we listen so that we can hear. May we hear so that we can feel. May we feel so that we can know. And may we know so that we can change ourselves and this world. May this chalice we light our way."
Good morning. I'm Lexi Tagney Brown. I'm here to read you a book. It's a good thing that I live so close because I forgot it at home. So the name of this book is called What Are Your Words? My Uncle Lior is coming to visit today. I can't wait to show them around my neighborhood, and I can't wait for all my neighbors to meet them. Lior is my favorite uncle. They have many beautiful, colorful hats. The garden at their house is magical. They are a biologist and look at teeny tiny living things under a microscope. I learn a lot from my Uncle Lior, like that people can be described by more than what they look like or what they do. In fact, there are a lot of words to say who people are and how they feel. Some of those words are pronouns. Pronouns are words that can take the place of your name, like I, me, you, she, or he, or they. Uncle Lior knows how important my words are to me because I'm always growing and changing, and some of my words change with me. So every time they visit, they ask me, "What are your words, Ari?" Sometimes I know my words right away. Happy, creative, fun, he, him. Sometimes I have to think about my words. Thoughtful, athletic, silly, she, her. Sometimes I have to try my words out. Sleepy, calm, honest, AM. Sometimes I use one set of pronouns. Sometimes I change my pronouns. Sometimes I use the pronouns I can think of. My pronouns are like the weather. They change depending on how I feel. And that's okay, because they're my words. This time, when Uncle Lior asks about my words, I have a problem. I don't know what words to use, I cry. I can't describe which pronouns fit today. That's okay, Uncle Lior tells me, their smile warm. You have all day to think about it. But I want to know my words now. He and him feel squirmy and wiggly to me. Those aren't right. I've had to think about my words later because it's time for Uncle Lior, my sister Rachel, and me to head to our neighborhood's big summer bash. Summer is my favorite season, and barbecues are my favorite type of party. Rachel dances and sings in the street, twirling around and making me laugh. Rachel has her own words. Her pronouns don't change, but sometimes she's quiet instead of loud. Today, she's loud. Confident, tall, loud, she, her. Mr. Bolton walks behind us, laughing at her friend Charlie's jokes. Mr. Bolton's cat chases Charlie's little brown dog up and down the sidewalk. And Mr. Bolton and Charlie each have their own words too. Curious, baker, considerate, she, her. Shy, doctor, generous, he, him. Our neighbor Anne tinkers with her car in the driveway. When I first met Anne, she had a different name and used different pronouns. But now she goes by Anne and uses she and her every day. She's my favorite neighbor. They'll be here soon, she calls. Mechanic, polite, vegetarian, she, her. We see Robin Day, and Zier kids drawing with chalk. When I introduced Robin to Uncle Lior, I use Zier words. Artistic, kind, sweet, Z-Zer. Uncle Lior says hello and tells Zer their words too. We'll see you at the bash, they say. Playful, collector, gardener, they, them. Ava and George are from the ivy-covered house. Are from the ivy-covered house and are on their way to the summer bash. Nice to meet you, Lior, Ava says. They are Uncle Lior, I explain proudly. Everybody laughs. Rachel laughs the loudest and turns to me. What are your words today, Ari? She asks. Responsible, hardworking, serious, AM. I think about my words. She and her feel sharp and crackly to me. Those words won't work today. Why can't I figure out which words to use? I want to be able to share them with everyone. When we arrive at the bash, we see our new neighbor. Hello, my name is Ari. What are your words? I ask. Hi, Ari, I'm Avery. I use they and them, they reply. Like my Uncle Lior, I say. What are your other words? Avery thinks. My other words are teacher, friendly, loyal. What are your words? I scrunch my face. I thought I would have known by now. I'm not sure what fits me today, I tell them. I try out some other words. Ear, feel heavy and bumpy to me. Those don't fit either. You'll figure it out, Avery tells me. Sometimes it just takes patience. But I don't want to be patient. It shouldn't take this long to find my words. Everybody else seems to know theirs. I go to Uncle Lior and tug on their sleeve. I still don't know my words. That's okay, Uncle Lior says reassuringly. They're your words. They didn't disappear. If you don't know them today, you'll know them tomorrow. Soon it's time for fireworks. I'm waiting for the show to start, just like I've been waiting all day to figure out what my words are. Waiting makes me buzzy like a bee and makes my skin feel itchy. When the first explosion finally bursts in the sky, everybody gasps, and suddenly my words fall into place. Sometimes I know my words right away. Sometimes I have to think about my words. Sometimes I have to try my words out. But sometimes I have to wait for my words to find me. I squeeze Uncle Lior's hand. Uncle Lior, I whisper excitedly. What? They ask. There's another boom of fireworks and color races through the sky. I point. Those are my words. I'm like fireworks. Impatient, excited, colorful. And they and them feel right today. Fireworks, Uncle Lior says with a laugh. They squeeze my hand back. That's definitely you, Artie. My words finally found me. They and them feel warm and snug to me. These pronouns are perfect. When the fireworks are over, we walk home, all of our words floating with us, and our pronouns too. Confident, curious, ex-zer. Generous, z-zer. Kind, mechanic, neighbor, he, him. Responsible, she, her. Teacher, happy, gardener. They, them, sister, AM. Hi there, I haven't met you yet. My name is Ari. My words are impatient, bouncy, excited, nervous, colorful, and hopeful. And today, my pronouns are they and them. What are your words?
At this point in our service, we share our joys with each other to magnify them, and our sorrows to lighten the weight of their pain. Please feel free to come forward, drop a pebble into the bowl, and while wearing your mask, express your joy or sorrow. And for those of you attending by live stream, if you have a joy or sorrow that you would like to share this morning, please type it into the chat.
I'm joyful because I'm having kind of a, I believe it was Daria who called it a Rip Van Winkle moment. Like this is, wait, what year is this? Right, it's 2023. I've, literally been in stir with orderlies and people telling me, ordering me around for,
2 months.
Yeah. But who's counting? And just again, I'm extremely happy.
Thankful to be back at home at UUMAN.
Dropping a pebble.
Hello, I'm Carla Rosati Capescas, and Dirk just stole my thunder because my joy is to see Dirk here today.
Good morning, I'm Randy Blosh. I have several stones of joy. One is that yesterday I had to put my cat of 19 years, he was 20 years old, down. But it's a joy. It's a joy that I got to spend that time with him, and he's off prancing around whatever in spirit world with his sister and having a good time. Two joys for yesterday as well was my son Patrick, who you remember, he used to run around here like a crazy person. His 27th birthday was yesterday, and my dad's 86th birthday was yesterday. And tomorrow is my daughter-in-law Allison's 28th birthday.
I'm Miriam Patanian, and my joy is of, I don't know, it's not really sorrow, it's just kind of a bummer. Jacob, our son, is 15 and he's been on the freshman basketball team. They suspect he has a broken collarbone, and so his season is over. And it's not really a sorrow because it's been a tough year. It's the team hasn't really gelled and they haven't really won a game. So it's, in some ways it's sort of getting him out of his misery of playing in these games, but it's a bummer that it's because of a fracture.
Hi everyone, I'm Donna Melcher, and I'm looking around and I'm seeing some very, very dear faces to me. And I wanted to tell you that it's my joy today to be back at UUMAN. And I just want to say that I can't really tell you why I was gone for so long. I wasn't mad at anybody. I wasn't mad at UUMAN. I wasn't disappointed with anything. But I found out just several weeks ago that I had been on a sabbatical. And I didn't really know how that felt. I've never been on a sabbatical before, but it just so happened. I've been reading and learning, and I'm ready to bring my gifts again to UUMAN. And I want to tell you that I'm sorry for all of those of you who were mad at me because I wasn't here, or disappointed in me because I wasn't bringing my energy here. It's just something that sometimes we must do, to come and to be in a place and to bring a good spirit. So I wanted to tell you what I'm feeling now. What I'm feeling now is the spirit of revival. I'm feeling that inside myself, and I'm hoping that this spring will bring a spirit of revival to our community. And I know that all of you have been here and doing the hard work of keeping the fires going, and I so appreciate that, more than you know. And I see that, and I just want to say, this morning, Jane's soul, where is she? Jane? Oh, there she is. She came up to me and she said, I don't know how you feel about this, but I really feel like I'd like to do something together with respect to the spring and the sap rising and all of that. So I'd like to say to you all that I am willing and ready to be a focal point for a Beltane revival weekend here at UUMAN. That is us bringing all of our energies together to see what we can create to bring forth new energies in ourselves and our community. So if you are interested in something like that, then I am here to be a collector of that and help it come forth in the best way possible if it wants to. So I know that's a long joy, but I just wanted to share my heart this morning. So thank you.
Thank you, Donna.
I don't see any joys or sorrows in the live chat, but if there are any that are late breaking, you'll receive an email about that. And I'll drop a final pebble for all those joys and concerns that remain unspoken. Let us keep one another in our thoughts in the coming week.
I'm going to read some excerpts of our purposes and professions of faith throughout Unitarian Universalist and Unitarian Universalist history. This is from 1790 in the 1803 Universal Convention of Universalists. We believe the scriptures of the Old and New Testament to contain a revelation of the perfections and the will of God, and the rule of faith and practice. We believe that there is one God whose nature is love, revealed in one Lord Jesus Christ, by one Holy Spirit of grace, who will finally restore the whole family of mankind to holiness and happiness. We believe in the Holy Ghost, whose office is to make known to sinners the truth of this salvation throughout the medium of this holy scriptures, and to reconcile the hearts of the children of men of God, and thereby dispose them to genuine holiness. And from 19th century Unitarian purposes and professions of faith. The object of the American Unitarian Association shall be to diffuse the knowledge and promote the interest of pure Christianity throughout our country. We desire openly to declare our belief as a denomination that God, moved by his own love, did raise up Jesus to aid in our redemption from sin, did by him pour a fresh flood of purifying life through the withered veins of humanity and along the corrupted channels of this world, and is by his religion forever sweeping the nations with regenerating gates from heaven and visiting the hearts of men with celestial solicitations. We receive the teachings of Christ separated from all foreign admixtures and later accretions as infallible truth from God. We revere Jesus and all holy souls that have taught men truth and righteousness and love as prophets of religion. And here's early 20th century Universalist profession. The bond of fellowship in this Universalist convention shall be a common purpose to do the will of God as Jesus revealed it, and to cooperate in establishing the kingdom for which he lived and died. And now from the 1961 Unitarian Universalist Association, when the Unitarians and the Universalists joined together. The members of the Unitarian Universalist Association, dedicated to the principles of a free faith, unite in seeking to strengthen one another in a free and disciplined search for truth as the foundation of religious fellowship. And in 1974, the association, dedicated to the principles of a free faith, cherish and spread the universal truth taught by the great prophets and teachers of humanity in every age and tradition, immemorially summarized in the Judeo-Christian heritage as love to God and love to humankind. I did not read these excerpts in an effort to criticize or pass any judgment on them. But I probably wouldn't be going out on a limb to say that these purposes, these excerpts that I read, probably wouldn't speak to most Unitarian Universalists today. The primary reason for me to read these excerpts is to illustrate the idea that we are part of a living tradition. A living tradition. We sing the living tradition. It's the name of our hymnal, Singing the Living Tradition. A living tradition has breath. It changes, it evolves, it transforms and grows. In my opinion, the tradition that I grew up in my opinion, wasn't a living tradition for me. And it is so refreshing to be able to be part of such a living tradition as vibrant as Unitarian Universalism. It is a great gift for me. Although one mustn't profess a specific or particular creed to be a Unitarian Universalist, the foundational elements and aspects of our denomination, its purposes and professions, are found in Article 2 of the UUA bylaws. For an aspiring congregation to be welcomed into Unitarian Universalism, to make covenant with the Unitarian Universalist Association, they must agree to honor Article 2. So Article 2, what's in it? Well, it consists of 4 basic things. First, the principles and the sources. That's 1. The second thing, the purpose of the Unitarian Universalist Association. It's a paragraph. Basically, it says the UUA's purpose is to serve congregations and to implement its principles. The third thing, the inclusion clause. We welcome everybody, is what it says. And the fourth thing, another clause, is freedom of belief, that there is no creedal test to be a Unitarian Universalist. That's it. Outside of the principles and sources, which you may have seen and might be familiar with and maybe a little wordy, outside of that, the rest of Article 2 is less than 200 words. 200 words. Okay, so why am I telling you this? Always a fair question. As I related in a sermon a couple months ago, the UUA bylaws state that every 15 years, a review of Article 2 must take place at least every 15 years. And although there have been some minor changes to Article 2 over the years, basically it's been unchanged since 1987. Okay? Well, in the fall of 2020, the UUA Board of Trustees established an Article 2 study commission. The commission has now completed its work and has issued a final report detailing its recommendations to the UUA board. It's on the UUA website, and hopefully we can find a way, well, we should be able to find a way to get it on ours so that you can read it. It's about 20 pages, very interesting, and we're going to talk about it today. Anyway, the Article 2 Study Commission is recommending some changes to Article 2, and I will say that they are wholesale changes. Wholesale. And they will be placed on the agenda at GA in June. There you can make amendments. People can make amendments from the floor. It can be changed. But it'll be voted on this June at GA, General Assembly. And if it passes by just a majority vote, 51%, then it goes on the agenda for next year's GA as well to be ratified in full. And I think it needs maybe a 2/3 majority or something like that. I'm not certain. So we're going to talk about this report a little bit today. And Deborah is first going to talk about the history of the commission and what its charge is given to it by the UUA board and General Assembly.
A few minutes ago, I said I would drop a final pebble, and I didn't. For the record, it's dropped now. So, in addition to the recommended changes to Article 2, the report also detailed some of the history that led to the Commission's formation. Here are some excerpts from the report outlining that history. At General Assembly 2017, there was a discussion of amending the principles to add an 8th principle addressing racism and an amended 1st principle addressing non-human life. The 5th principle was the subject of a report in 2009, which dealt with the ways in which General Assembly and other Unitarian Universalist gatherings do and don't embody an inclusive democratic process. The 7th principle has also been the subject of discussions about possible amendments. There have been many projects, resolutions, task forces, and other strategies that have come from the board, the Commission on Appraisal, and grassroots groups, which encourage us to take a look at our principles, purposes, bylaws, and rules. It's time for us to do a review and make changes so that we are living into the Unitarian Universalism of the future, a Unitarian Universalism that holds us in times of great need and ethical, moral, and spiritual crises. We are in one of those times now. The report also included the Unitarian Universalist Association Board's charge to the Commission. Here are some excerpts from the report outlining that charge. We, the UUA Board of Trustees, charge this Commission to root its work in love as a principal guide in its work, attending particularly to the ways that we and our root traditions have understood and articulated love, and how we have acted out of love. The Article 2 Study Commission is instructed to include in its considerations and deliberations the clear call at General Assembly 2017 for the inclusion of another principle, explicitly calling us to be committed to active anti-racism. We also note that there is a growing urging for us to better articulate our recognition of rights of being for all beings. The Commission is charged with reviewing all sections of Article 2 and is free to revise, replace, or restructure them as needed to meet the objectives stated above. There's nothing sacred about the number of principles or sources, nor their specific wordings, nor in the way that Article 2 is laid out. We encourage creativity. The board would like to see an Article 2 that is inspirational, memorable, and poetic. The language should be inclusive and welcoming and explicitly anti-racist. Article 2, it must be remembered, is broad statements of principle and purpose, not detailed programmatic or implementation plans. An addendum was made to the charge to the Commission upon the adoption of a resolution at General Assembly in 2021. The resolution states, "We ask the Article 2 Commission and the Board to ensure proposed changes to Article 2 include in the principles a clear and direct statement that accountable, systemic, anti-racist, and anti-oppressive actions to build beloved community are part of what it means to be Unitarian Universalist."
So a few words about the report, about their process, and their philosophical direction. What they said: over the course of its work, from the fall of 2020 until December 2022, the Commission engaged in 45 feedback sessions with 4,611 total participants. Their videos reached 7,765 viewers, and their 29 surveys generated a total of 10,925 responses. They say Article 2 is important to us as a denomination because we do not have a creed or a confession of faith with which other religions rely on to fill these roles. These functions have fallen to Article 2 as the closest analogy because it is a shared agreement between congregations, and we have congregational polity. We wanted UUs to think more about their own relationship to Unitarian Universalism and the relationships of congregations to each other and to the UUA. The current principles express a shared ethic and imply a certain theology, one that values individual growth in the natural world and diversity, but it does not name these values specifically, nor does it name many other values important to us collectively. It also gives no guidance on how we might approach living out these values in our congregations and in the world. It declares itself to be a covenant, but the only actions it asks of congregations are to affirm and promote certain concepts. We believe we should expect more from a covenant. As one member put it, we need more verbs. I love that. They continue. We felt we would be better served by a structure in which we articulate our shared values and then use these values as the ground for aspirational statements of action. We felt a better use of the bylaws than the listing of sources would be to articulate what our inspirations do and how we should approach any source of inspiration. And we tie them explicitly to our values and to the practices of cultural respect. That's from the report. In subsequent sermons in the coming weeks, I will be digging into some of the specifics of the Commission's recommendations regarding the changes to Article 2. And I said they are wholesale changes. And the report should be available to you, and hopefully you can look at it. So here are some final thoughts that they put in the report that I'd like to share. They said, throughout this process, we have been guided by the idea of a living tradition. As James Luther Adams has said, a living tradition is not bequeathed through some law of inheritance. It must be earned not without dust and heat, and not without humbling grace. That's a quote. The Commission continues, throughout the dust and heat, we have been humbled by the grace extended to us by all those who participated in our process. In our work, we have sought to honor the work of those ancestors who came before, and to envision all of us Unitarian Universalists as good ancestors to those who will follow in the future. We hope that this revision nurtures that living tradition so that it continues to flourish, and to look forward to that future time when another commission takes up this work to make it speak for their age. Whenever there is change, there is loss. And whenever there is loss, there is grief. We honor the fact that there is loss in changing what has become so familiar to us. We are also mindful that we need not lose everything. You may have noticed that many of the words and themes of our current principles remain in the new Article 2, just a new format. We are writing this in pencil, not etching it in stone tablets.
In an effort to fulfill and further the vision and mission of this congregation, we ask that our members and friends share of their time, talents, and treasures. We will now take the offering. You may also give using the Givelify app.
We accept this sacred offering generously given by our beloved members and friends, and may we use it wisely and judiciously in service to our mission.
Please say with me the words by Elizabeth Sale Jones for extinguishing the chalice printed in your order of worship. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Imagine love is centered. It isn't hard to do, and it's just what they've done to Article 2. Imagine all us UUs living out our verbs. No, 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 we're just writing this in pencil, not on tablets of stone. We hope someday you'll join us, 'cause there's no need to be alone. That is at the top of my range. Everyone, go in peace and enjoy your week.